Mayoral Memo with Matthew Dickerson from Dubbo Regional Council.
Now it is 14 minutes away from 8, and at 14 away from 8, let's head on up to Dubbo as we do on a Monday morning, and Mayor Matthew Dickerson, good morning.
Good morning, Kerry. We're straight back into it. It's into the middle of February already. Where's the year going? What's happening?
I know. It's all disappearing so quickly, you see.
Merry Christmas already, just about.
I know, and let me tell you, when you get older, it disappears even more quickly. Now, listen, medical things, okay, all things medicine, with GPs and also medical students. And, of course, one of the great things in the country at the moment, or one of the first things on the agenda, is trying to keep these people in country areas.
We do a few things, Kerry, to try and do that to make them feel important, or they are important, to make them know how important they are to us. So during the week we had two different events on. One was the welcome to the Year 1 students. So we've got the 4-year medical degree with the University of Sydney School of Rural Health now in Dubbo, and the Year 1 students started this year. So we wanted to make sure they knew they were important, so we put a little function on for them, welcomed them along, rolled up the red carpet and said in 4 years' time, make sure you remember where you want to be after you finish your degree. One of the things that I love, one of the stories I heard on the night was fantastic in terms of what that medical school does for Dubbo. One of the gentlemen there is a nuclear medicine specialist already, so he's got his first degree already. And so when he moved to Dubbo, they said at the hospital, can you come and do a bit of part-time work? Sure, he's doing that. He brought his wife and his young child with him. His wife then started a new business because there was an opening in the town for that business. And then because they were both busy, he brought his mum and dad with him. So there's 5 people that have moved to Dubbo on the back of the one student starting at the Sydney University School of Rural Health. So you see lots of those type of stories, which is fantastic. But we also rolled out the red carpet for the GP registrars. So we've got GP registrars in Dubbo and the region. They've just started their 6-month term. And again, when they finish their process and become a fully fledged GP, we'd love to see them stay in the region. So a bit of the same, roll out the red carpet, make them welcome, make sure they know that they're incredibly important to the region.
Okay. Now, you launched also, the tour? What was the tour you launched?
Tour de Oroc was launched last week. This is an event that's held every 2 years. It raises money for Macquarie Homestay, so still on a medical bent here at the moment. And Macquarie Homestay is a location where people come and stay when they come to see their doctor or more to the hospital from around the region. So, for example, if you're having a cancer treatment and you come from Walgett, it's expensive to stay in Dubbo at a motel while you're having cancer treatment. So Macquarie Homestay has been built on the back of fundraising and government grants over the years. So the next event for that starts on the 18th of March this year. So we launched it officially on last week. So if, for example, you wanted to get on a bike, Kerry, and ride maybe 700 or 800 kilometres around the region, then you're more than welcome to come and join us.
Easy peasy, not a problem. Hey, listen, now we're talking about wind farms at the moment. It's not exactly in your local government area, really, is it?
Well, this is the interesting one. There's a bit of action happening around the Kerrs Creek Wind Farm. The Kerrs Creek Wind Farm is in our LGA, but there's more activity and more discussion around it in the Cabon Shire or Cabon Council. Right. And so one of the things that's happening is there's a meeting happening over in Molong, and they've invited me along to it. I can't make it, unfortunately, but there's a few people there. David Littleproud's going along, for example. I think Sam Farraway's there. Andrew G's going along. So you've got this activity, but I think the problem is Cabon Council, because the wind farm doesn't sit in that council, they're not going to receive any of the financial benefits. Dubbo Regional Council will, because the wind farm sits in our council area, but people in Cabon can see the wind turbine, so they're trying to see what they can do with that. So a bit of activity around that, bit of discussion. It always seems to generate a bit of a divide when you start to talk about wind farms, especially the people that have got it on their farms that get some payments from the proponents and the people that haven't got it on their farm. So it's an interesting issue. We had a meeting in Ukarina a few weeks ago, so it's probably some more discussion to happen around that one.
What's the demerger thing? Is that what I'm talking about?
That was in Parliament last week, and so one of the discussions that's been up for a little while now is if you've been involved in an amalgamation, in the forced amalgamations in 2016, do you want to demerge? And so that's been going on for some time. Lots of places that did merge want to demerge. And so one of the things that happened through Parliament last week was essentially the government said, well, sure, we're looking at allowing you to demerge and how you might do that, but if you're going to do it, you have to fund it yourself. Your community has to fund it. State government is going to kick in $0 to help you demerge, which really, Kerry says to me, they're probably not going to demerge because you just can't afford to do it.
Yeah, it ain't going to happen, in other words, because your merger was with Wellington, wasn't it?
Correct. Dubbo and Wellington merged back in May 2016. And again, now here we are 8 years later. I haven't really heard too many people talking actively about demerging, but if someone wanted to do it, I'd really say that the community has to drive that process forward and also justify the cost of that. There's a lot of potholes you could fix for the amount of money it costs to demerge because it's an expensive process. It was expensive to put two councils together. It'd be expensive to pull them apart.
Yeah, just fill the potholes, mate. That'll do.
That's right. I think in general that's what people have. I think people they weren't happy about it at the time, but I think we've moved on now. 8 years later, from my perspective, I certainly wasn't in favour of it back in 2016. But now, well, we just have to play with the hand we've been dealt and move on.
You got to live with it. You got to live with it. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it once again. You have a good week. There we go.
Thanks, Kerry.
There.
Mayoral Memo with Matthew Dickinson from Dubbo Regional Council.